This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, so this is 30th session. In this session, we are going to see how to load data from on-premise SQL Server to the data lake storage Gen 2. So before we start with on-premise SQL Server, we need to understand what is on-premise. I have explained you what is on-premise previously, but let me revise once again. On-premise means the servers which you are maintaining. Example, SQL Server which is available in your own virtual machine. So you in your own machine, it's not a virtual machine. SQL Server which is there in your own machine which you are maintaining. Okay, let's say I have a laptop. In my laptop, if I install SQL Server, that SQL Server is called an on-premise SQL Server because that server is installed by me and that is maintained by me, and updates, patching, everything is taken care by me. So that says nothing but a on-premise SQL Server. Who is going to manage on-premise SQL Server? User is going to maintain the on-premise SQL Server, upgrade and patching, maintenance, everything is going to taken care by the user. Okay, example, we are going to taken care of the SQL Server maintenance, everything. Now what we wanted to do now, all the most of our clients wants to migrate their data. They want to load their on-premise data into the cloud. So how do they do that? So to do that, they need to copy data from on-premise SQL Server to the data lake storage Gen 2. Okay, let's see. So some people, they may copy directly data from on-premise SQL Server to the data lake storage Gen 2. Some people may copy data from on-premise SQL Server to the SQL database, on-premise SQL Server to the SQL data warehouse. So we will see all those things in the upcoming sessions. But today, let me get started with the things how you can connect to the on-premise from cloud. Okay, it's you can say in another way how to connect to the cloud from on-premise, and once you connect to the cloud, how you can load data into the cloud from the on-premise. So all these things we will see in detail. Now let's see today. This is very important because in your first step, when you are explaining to the interviewer what you have done, you need to tell that you are fetching data from on-premise and loading into the cloud. Then you are doing the some kind of a transformations. So that's why you need to have this knowledge, but you have enough knowledge to understand this session already. Okay, I hope you can able to understand this session very easily. We will see what you can learn in today's session. We are going to see the scenarios. Then what is integration, runtime and types? We have discussed this, but let me just revise once again. And then what is self-hosted IR, because we are going to create a self-hosted integration runtime today. Then what is on-premise SQL Server? Okay, as I just explained now, if you have SQL Server in your own mission, okay, you have SQL Server in your own mission, the complete maintenance with respect to the upgrading, maintenance, patching, everything will be taken care by you. So if you are taking care, that is nothing but a on-premise SQL Server. Okay, estimations we are going to do, we are going to see some kind of estimations, what type of fire we need to use and how many data sets, how many linked services we need. Then prerequisite, what we need to understand this session. Required resources, what are the resources I'm going to use in this particular session. Demo, we will see how to create data lake storage Gen 2, then how to set up on-premise SQL Server, because currently I don't have a SQL Server in my laptop. So if you're trying to install SQL Server, it will take a lot of time. So those and all will not work for us when you are practicing. But in real time, you know, you are not going to install SQL Server. Clients has SQL Server in their missions. You just have to connect to their missions and bring the data into the cloud. That's all. So, but here, if you want to do the practicals, you need to set up this on-premise SQL Server. So we are going to see how to set up. Then install self-hosted IR. We are going to install the self-hosted integration runtime in on-premise mission. Then we will see creating the Azure Data Factory V2, you know. Then, so now ultimately I want to bring the data from on-premise SQL Server to the data lake storage Gen 2. So for that, you need to connect to the data lake storage Gen 2. Then you also need to connect to the SQL Server. How you will connect to the services, source and sinks by using Azure Data Factory. Inside Azure Data Factory, we have a main component. One of the main component is linked service. By using linked service, I will connect to the data lake storage Gen 2 and I will connect to the SQL Server. Next, we will create the data sets, create pipeline, and run pipeline with the trigger. So from today, I'm going to run all my pipelines with some kind of a trigger. I'm going to use some kind of a trigger daily. Okay, let's see. Then you can monitor your pipeline. Okay, let's see with the scenarios first. Setting up self-hosted integration runtime. We are going to see how you can set up self-hosted integration runtime. Setting on-premise SQL server. We need to set up the on-premise SQL server as well. Next, connect to on-premise SQL server from Azure Data Studio. So we need to create some kind of a table. So because in real time we will have tables, SQL server, everything is ready. But here we need to set up SQL server. Then we need to connect to the SQL server, and we need to create some kind of tables. Some tables we need to keep in SQL server, right? So that we are going to see how to connect to the SQL server from Azure Data Studio. Then now you can create tables, all those things. And fourth one is copying on-premise SQL server data to ADLS Gen 2. So we will see how to copy data from on-premise SQL server to ADLS Gen 2. So finally, we need to connect to cloud from on-premise using ADF key. That is also known as a registering IR with key. Because so if you simply install which Azure Data Factory is connected to it, so multiple people are creating ADF, so anybody can able to access this self-hosted integration time. No, so you need to have, when you create Azure Data Factory, you will get a key. With this key, you need to register your integration runtime. Then only you can able to connect to the cloud services from on-premise. We will see in detail with the practicals. Don't worry. What is integration runtime? Can you tell me, friends, what is integration runtime? We were talking since long time this concept.
Integration runtime is nothing but bridge between linked service and Azure Data Factory.
Linked service and Azure Data Factory. It's a
Integration
compute
runtime is
server.
nothing but using it will have the compute infrastructure used by Azure Data Factory to connect between the on-premises to cloud or different network environments.
Very good point. So integration runtime is the compute infrastructure. Compute infrastructure. Okay. So example, let's say if you want to travel from India to US, you are taking a flight. So that is your compute who is going to do actual work. It is going to take you to the another location. Flight is going to take you to the another location. Here, if you want to send any data, we need a compute servers. That is nothing but we need some kind of computers. Take some calculation systems. Those are nothing but a servers. So that server is nothing but a IR. Integration runtime is nothing but a server. Okay, remember, integration runtime is the compute infrastructure used by Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory is going to use this compute infrastructure. It's nothing but a server. Why Azure Data Factory is using this server? To provide the data integration capabilities across different network environment. Different network environment means on-premise, cloud. So you have a private and public network. So between private and public network, if you want to do any data integration capabilities, such as if you want to load data from on-premise to the cloud and all those cases, we need to use the IR compute infrastructure. Okay, next. An integration runtime specifies what kind of hardware is used to execute activities where this hardware is physically located. So it's a simply hardware. Example, I have a computer. So I'm teaching you like class from my computer, right? It's a some kind of a computer which I'm able to see. This is at on-premise. Okay. Now, integration runtime also specifies that what kind of hardware is used to execute activities. What kind of hardware is used to execute activities. What it means? Hardware means whether you are going to maintain this hardware is maintained by cloud. So what kind of hardware you want to use to execute these activities, where this hardware is physically located, whether this hardware is physically located in your location or cloud. Who owns and maintains the hardware? Okay, who is going to maintain this one, and which data stores and services the hardware can connect to. So example, when I say self-hosted integration runtime, that is also one server that will have a hardware and all the softwares, right? So now this particular thing, self-hosted, means that will be available in my location. In my location, self-hosted IR will be there. First thing. Next, by using this self-hosted IR, I can able to connect to the private network and public network. Okay. Next, if it is Azure IR, and maintained by Azure, and we can use that particular Azure IR to copy data within the cloud. Next. You specify which integration to use in each linked service. How to do that? You see here you have integration runtime. Remember, by default, when we are not touching integration runtime, we will have a auto resolve integration runtime. What it means, the region will be taken automatically based on your sync location. When you are copying data from India to US, in US data center, it will try to create this server for you dynamically. Okay, that's how it is going to optimize your copying of data. Next, where we use IR in linked service. If you remember, we are going to use here, right? Auto resolve integration runtime. Here we are going to use that. Yeah, auto resolve integration runtime. If it is a self-hosted, you just have to select here. I want to use the self-hosted integration. That's something. Okay, different types of integration runtimes. Data Factory offers 3 types of integration runtimes. You should choose the type that best serves the data integration capabilities and network environment needs you are looking for. There are 3 types of IRs. We have Azure IR, self-hosted IR, and the Azure SSIS IR. Azure IR you are going to use when you want to copy data from on-premise to the Azure IR you are going to use when you want to copy data within the cloud. Self-hosted IR you are going to use when you want to copy data from on-premise to the cloud, that is from private network to public network. Azure SSIS IR you are going to use when you want to execute SSIS packages. Okay, so these all things we discussed already. Let me just quickly discuss. What is self-hosted integration runtime? This is what we are going to use today. Self-hosted integration runtime use infrastructure and hardware managed by you. We are going to manage the hardware and infrastructure. You take care of all the installation, maintenance, patching, scaling, but you also pay for the time you use it through Azure Data Factory. So if you are using this particular IR through the Azure Data Factory, we need to pay for the time that we have used. But who is going to install and maintain patching, everything? Who is going to take in care? We need to take in care. That's why today we are going to see how to install and maintain all those things. Next, a self-hosted integration runtime can access resources in both public and private network. So you can use self-hosted integration runtime to copy data even within the cloud, and you can also use to copy data from private to the public network, that is from on-premise to the cloud, or from on-premise to the on-premise. You can use the self-hosted. Next. A self-hosted integration runtime works like a gateway. You install the integration runtime on a mission inside the private network, then it can communicate with the Azure Data Factory. Okay, we are going to see how this particular IR will communicate to the Azure Data Factory. We need to register with key, then it will communicate with our Azure Data Factory. We will see in detail. Okay. Overview diagram, you know already we discussed this. See here, it's a cloud. This is on-premise. So here, if you look at here, right? So here to copy data from on-premise to the cloud, what type of IR we are using? Self-hosted integration runtime we are using. Self-hosted integration runtime we are using. Here, Azure SSIS, because this is within the cloud, Azure SS. This is completely within the cloud, Azure. I created a virtual mission. Let's say I have a virtual mission. In this virtual mission, I have virtual network. You are understanding, thanks. In a cloud, I created a virtual mission. Inside that, I have a virtual network, everything. In this virtual mission, from virtual mission, if I want to move it some data into the cloud, what type of IR I need to use? Please check it here. Self-hosted IR I need to use. Even though you have a virtual network, your own virtual network, from your own virtual network, if you want to move data into the cloud, you need to use a self-hosted IR, because this virtual network you created from the cloud, but ultimately this is managed by you. That's why whenever you are moving data from this virtual mission to the cloud, this case also we need to use this self-hosted IR. So this is what we are going to do the demo, because I have some issue with my mission. So but you can try with your local mission. But what I will do, in the cloud I will create a virtual mission. In that you will have a SQL server. From that virtual mission SQL server, I will move the data into the ADLS. Okay, that will be ADLS storage will be there in a cloud. You are understanding. First I will create a virtual mission. Inside virtual mission I will have a SQL server. So I will be, my data is available within the virtual network. Now I need to bring the data into the cloud out of this virtual network. Then what you need to do, you need to bring the data by using self-hosted integration that I will show you practically. Okay. Next, setting up on-premise to cloud connection. You see, I have a on-premise, I have a cloud. So in on-premise, you need to have a virtual machine exam. Say, sorry, it's not a virtual machine. I have a mission, my local mission. In this local mission, I need to do three things. Set up SQL Server, you need to install SQL Server, then install integration runtime, you need to have an integration runtime, then register IR with cloud key. You need to register the IR which you have installed with the cloud key. What is that cloud key? How to get it? Once you create the Azure Data Factory, it will have the cloud key. So this Azure Data Factory, with the help of that cloud key, it can connect to the SQL Server. So this is the connection. From Azure Data Factory, you take the key and registered with this IR, then you can able to establish the connection between on-premise to the cloud. Once you establish the connection from on-premise to the cloud, you create the data lake storage gen 2, then you can able to copy data from on-premise SQL Server to the on-premise SQL Server to the data lake storage gen 2. Load data from SQL Server to the ADLS gen 2, you can do it. This is clear to all of you? Is this clear, friends? Venkat sir, Pavan, rest of the people, please respond. Maya, Manohar, Parmesh, Avinash, Chaitanya. Okay, thank you. Let me just move on. See, copy data from on-premise SQL Server to the ADLS Gen 2. Now you see you have a SQL Server. In that you will have a database, right? So in that database I create, so this is SQL Server. In this I have a database. In this database I created the custom table. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to load this data into ADLS Gen 2. How you can do is you can create a linked service to the on-premise SQL Server. But this time when you are creating linked service, what type of IR you are going to select? We are going to select the self-hosted IR. We need to select. Okay, next I'm going to create the input data set. You know what is input data set, which points to this table. Then I want to copy data into the cloud, so I will use copy activity. Then my output data set, this is my output data
We are not able to hear you, Malaya. We lost you.
Can you hear me now? I think network issue. Can you hear me now? Where we lost, friends? Pawan, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Yeah, thank you.
We lost you at output data set, Malaya.
Output data set. Okay, let me just come back quickly. So what I'm trying to tell you is you just have to create, so you created the input data set which points to the custom table, and now this custom table you want to copy into the cloud. So that's why you need to use a copy activity. Then you need to create the output data set which points to the ADLS Gen 2 folder. Okay, before you point out, you need to create a linked service. You need to connect to this ADLS Gen 2. Once you connect, you can load data into the ADLS Gen 2 as a custom.cs. Who is going to do all these things?
Self-hosted IR.
Self-hosted IR is going to do all these things.
Yeah, some network issue is there from your side.
Clear, Pawan? Good services we need. Still you are not able to hear, Pawan?
Yeah, I'm now able to hear you, but it's breaking in between actually. Yeah.
Friends, everybody is having an issue?
Yes, Malaya.
I'm not sure issue. Oh, it's lagging. 1 second. Let me just quickly change. Okay. Okay, right. Can you hear me now? So I just switched the network. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, Malaya.
Right, it will be good now.
Yes.
So how many linked services we need? In estimations, we are going to see for each on-premise SQL server, one linked service is required in Azure Data Factory 2. For each storage, one linked service is required. So today we are going to create two linked service. One is for on-premise SQL server. Second is to ADLS Gen 2. Next. How many data sets we have? So depends on the reference points, we need to create the data sets. Okay. How many activities we have? One copy activity is required to copy data from SQL server to the ADLS Gen 2. Okay, one copy activity I'm going to use to copy data from on-premise SQL server to the ADLS Gen 2. How many pipelines we need? One pipeline. What type of IR we need to use to copy data from SQL server to the ADLS Gen 2? It's a self-hosted integration runtime we need to use today. Okay. Prerequisite, we should know what is the ADLS Gen 2. We already know SQL Server, we know exactly like our Azure SQL database. Okay, but it is in the on-premise. What is key vault? We know already. Schedule trigger, we know. Azure Data Factory, integration runtime and types, you know, and linked service data sets and the activities, finally pipeline. So all these things we know. Today I am going to use this schedule trigger again, once again, to run my pipeline as per the schedule based. Let's see required resources. I need a SQL Server, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, Key Vault, and the Azure Data Factory V2. Let's quickly create all these things, friends. Okay, these are the slides I have. Let me just quickly move on to the labs. First thing that you need to do is I don't want to install self-hosted integration in my local machine. So I want to create a virtual machine. Inside virtual machine, I want to create the SQL server. Okay, so let's see how to create a virtual machine first. Click on create a resource. Yeah, simple thing is come here directly. You have a virtual machine service. Click on virtual machine service. Click add to create the virtual machine. Click virtual machines. So I'm going to create a resource group. The resource group name is Cloud Pandit BI Master. Click OK. Then virtual mission name, I will say you can say SQL Server. It's a SQL Server. In which location? So you can select the location. Let me just go with East to West. Okay. Next. So what type of image? Based on your image, you will get what type of server you want. I want to create a virtual machine which is going to have the SQL Server installed. Already SQL Server is installed in those missions. You need to select such type of virtual machine. See, machine is nothing but a computer. Okay, this computer, if you order in Flipkart, they will deliver to you. You can able to touch it, you can able to see physically. It is existed physically. Virtual machine means it is there but you cannot able to see. It is there somewhere else. Maybe it is available in cloud data centers. You are just accessing these servers. Okay, now such type of computer I want to create. When I create that kind of computer, in that computer I need to have a SQL Server installed. So I will tell you what image you need to select for that requirement. Click on browse all public and private images. Here you need to say SQL Server 2019 Enterprise. Second, just come down slowly. I will tell you what you need to select. Like previously it used to there here itself directly, but that option was not there when I was checking today morning. Okay, so that's why I want to, yeah, just to select this. Okay, SQL Server 2019 Enterprise on Windows Server 2019. See, SQL Server 2019 will be, this is the SQL Server data, like it's a server. In this server we'll create database. In database we can create the table. This server is installed on the Windows machine 2019. Just click on this. Okay, this is the image you need to select. Then what, like you can see here the image size 8 GB memory, 2 cores you'll get. What is the cost of this mission? The cost of this mission is monthly 9,000. It is very costly. You need to delete immediately after once our session is completed. Okay, next username. Username I'm saying, let me give the password. Okay, so I'm repeating once again. Once you create this particular virtual machine, in this mission you will have a SQL server available. Number one point. Number two is, here you have a username and password. This username and password you can use for two logins. One login is for connecting to this virtual machine, to log in into this virtual machine. Second username and password you can use to log in to connect to the SQL server. Okay. First thing, once we connect to this mission, then only we can connect to the SQL server. The reason is SQL server is available within this virtual machine. Okay. Next, public inbound ports. Just we need to enable the RDP. If it is a Windows machine, we need to enable port 3389. It's a RDP. Okay. Click disk. Keep remaining things as it is. Let's go to the directly SQL server settings. These all are our computer settings. Our computer settings. What kind of disk you want? What is the size of disk you want? All those things, right? But here come to SQL server settings directly. Remaining things you don't need to change here. So whenever you remember, we have two types of authentications in Azure Data Factory also. SQL authentication, Windows authentication, right? So let's go with SQL authentication. SQL authentication I want to enable. Then if you want to connect to the SQL server, you can set up another username and password. Here I will say username is admin. Now you understood. So I will tell you here, for connecting to the VM, and VM we have only Malaya and some password. I have given some password. Okay, I have given some password. Next, to connect to the SQL server, you can use same credentials. That is, same credentials you can use, because both will work. Same credentials will work for connecting to VM, connecting to SQL server. Next, to connect to the SQL server, I am just setting up another credentials. If you enable SQL authentication, you can set up another credentials. Here I will say Cloud Pandit admin. This is the username I want to give for another credentials. Password I want to keep same. So here what happens, you can also use Cloud Pandit admin, and password is, I am just keeping same password which I have used for the Windows. But if you want to keep another one, you just have to change it here. You just have to change it. Okay. Remaining things, do you want to read these things from Azure Key Vault integration? All those things will have. So maintenance. Okay, some kind of a maintenance you will have. So automated patching, if at all any patching is there, what time you need to do. So only do it on Sunday. Okay, do you want to take any backups? All these things is not required for us. Don't worry, just click tags and click review prescript. So how much I'm going to pay per hour? I need to pay 12 rupees. Okay, just imagine per hour I'm going to make a 12 rupees payment. Okay. Let's click create. Now come here, portal.azure.com. So first service is completed. We just created virtual machine. In this virtual machine, we'll have a SQL server. Okay, I will show you. Meanwhile, let's create other services. Okay. Come here. Let's create our target. My sink is data like storage gen. How to create data like storage gen? To click on storage accounts. I will go very slowly because this is completely new session for us. Okay, click add. Retry. Resource group is, so this is the resource group, and storage account name I will say Cloud Pandit storage. Cloud Pandit storage. Can say Cloud Pandit ADLS Gen 2 storage. I think this name is, oh, this is a big name. Okay, so do one thing, Cloud Pandit ADLS. Remember, this is the ADLS. Okay, east to west. So I'm just, don't forget, because I have another storage. That's the reason I'm just thinking you will confuse. Okay, let me give today date 12/01, December 1st. 12/01 I'm giving for today's storage so that you can uniquely identify. It's a V2. I will enable data lake storage gen to come down. In advanced, you need to enable the hierarchical namespace. Just click review this. Create it. Now let's open here portal.azure.com again to submit a deployment. Let's open portal in third tab. So here I want to create the data factory. Just click on data factories. Yeah, data factories. Select the resource group, subscription, all these things. Region is this to us, anywhere is fine. Cloud funded ADF V2. This name is not having, let's say cloud funded CP ADF V2. This should be available. Yes, it is available. Git configuration, I want to configure it later. Click review plus create. Okay, take the data factory name and create it. Okay, it is going to create. Now come here, let's open portal.azure.com. Here let's select keyword. Okay, see here I have a keyword. Just click on keywords, click add to create the keywords. Okay, come down, separate, right? Resource group is this one. Now keyword name I will just give here, cloud funded on-premise OP. Okay, on-premise AKV. Okay, I need to store some on-premise keys also. That's why OP AKV I'm giving name. Click access policies. Here I need to add my data factory name. Click add access policies. All these things, that's why a little bit quickly I'm doing select it. So data factory name I already selected. Let me paste it here. So this is the data factory name to which I need to grant the permission, so that this data factory can able to access all the passwords, whatever secrets we have here, those secrets it can able to access. Select, click add. Okay. Then click review plus create. Running final validation. Just create it. Now let's check what all services already created. So SQL Server, it will take some time to create anyhow. Storage already available. Data factory is available. Azure Key Vault, it will just take 1 more minute. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's set up our target. Go to resource. Here, if you look at the storage, right? In storage, what you need to do? You need to store the storage keys in your Azure Key Vault, because I don't want to hard code these keys anyway. That's why copy this. Go to your Azure Key Vault. It will be created already. Go to resource. Let's click on secrets. Click generate / import. Here I will say ADLS key. ADLS key. Okay, and the actual key I will put it here. Then click create. Next, generate / import. Here also SQL password I will keep here. Okay, SQL password I will put, and username I will hard code. Okay, let me just put the SQL password here. Okay, create it. Now you see I created 2 secrets. That is one for storing the data lake storage key. Another one is for storing the SQL password. Okay, now go to your storage containers. I don't want to create any container. Container should be created automatically from the Azure Data Factory. So that's what I need to do from the sync side. Let's focus on the SQL Server. So still it is creating, let it be. Let's come to data factory. Let's open data factory as well. You understood target. I have set up, everything is clear now. And Azure data factory I'm opening, because the like on-premise SQL Server, if you want to connect, we need to have this particular thing should be ready. I think this is also ready in 1 or 2 minutes. This will be available. Okay, fine. Now come here. I just click on author and monitor to open your Azure data factory. Now you understood. See, I'm just moving all the things that we no need to touch. Data lake storage gen 2 I no need to touch again, and Azure Key Vault I no need to touch again. So let it be, because we no need to make any changes here. Data factory, I opened the data factory because this is our important service. Let it be. Okay, data factory also open. Let's go to on-premise SQL Server. So this server should be available to do anything, because we need to bring data from on-premise to the cloud, right? So let's wait here some time. Meanwhile, any questions, friends? Anybody have any questions? Yeah, Shiva, I think I'm not sure whether when you joined, so I explained that as well. Yes, you can install the self-hosted integration runtime in your local machine, and you can connect to the local machine from Azure Data Factory. Clear, Shiva?
Yes, Malaya.
Okay. Next. Okay, meanwhile, let me just open the Azure Data Studio, because from this I will try to connect today. But you can also connect to on-premise SQL Server by using SSMS. Okay, the tool you can use. So I think that SSMS tool also will be available in this mission, virtual mission. Like this is exact like our computer, but this computer we cannot able to see. We can able to access from the another computer. Okay, so that we'll see. So once it is created, I think it is also created. This will be available. Azure Data Studio open, we'll see. Okay, let me show you one thing. Just click on this. See here, you have a authentication type: Windows authentication, SQL authentication. There are two types of authentication. Windows authentication means when you are connecting to your SQL Server, you can use this username and password. SQL authentication means this username and password. You understood? Windows authentication means whatever username and password you will use to connect to your computer, same username and password you can use to connect to the SQL Server. That's why you'll have two types of authentication. One is SQL authentication and second one is Windows authentication. SQL authentication means Cloud Pandit admin username and password you need to use. If it is a Windows means one line and password you need to use. Okay, fine. We'll see whether it is available. Still, it is still great. It will take some time, I know. When we have started, so we started at 7:32. Now approximately 11 minutes it took, but still it is creating. Let's wait some more time. Now you see it is available. Okay, just click on go to resource. First thing, how to connect to this virtual machine from my my computer, how to connect to this virtual machine. The easiest way is here, go here. In every Windows machine will have a remote. Just click on remote desktop connection. Okay, take this public IP address and paste it here. This is one of the way, but there are multiple ways to connect to this particular virtual machine. Click connect now. So it is going to ask you to enter username and password. These are Windows username and password. This username and password you need to enter. Let me enter your username is this. Password. Click OK. Click yes. Now you see I connected to the another computer. See, this is my another computer. You can able to see it. This is the virtual computer because I am not able to see it physically. I'm not able to touch it physically, right? So I can able to use this particular machine. Now you see I am inside my another computer. This is another computer, exact like my computer, my local computer. I have another computer here. I connected to my another computer. Now in this you need to understand few more things. So network, do you want your PC to be discovered by other PCs and devices on this network? You can click yes or no, doesn't matter. Okay, anything is fine. Now first thing is go to local server. This is the local server configurations. Okay, in this local server you see something like IE enhanced security configuration, right? Just click on this and turn off this configuration. What it means, it will allow you to secure your server. Now I don't want to secure my server. If you allow this particular server to secure, whenever you click on something, immediately it will show pop-ups. It will keep on showing some pop-ups. That's why I want to turn off this. Click on this, turn off, then click OK. I turned off. Now click on the start button. Here try to search for SQL Server Management Studio. Sometimes it will be available in your virtual machine itself. It is not there. It seems it is not available here. SSMS, you can see some. See, it is available. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 2018. So now today we no need to use Azure Data Studio tool. You can use it directly SSMS tool. You can use any tool, but as we already aware of how to use Azure Data Studio, let me just show you how you can use SSMS tool if you have already available. Just double click on this. So it will open the SSMS tool. This is the SSMS tool I'm opening from virtual machine. This is the another computer. From another computer, I'm opening this SSMS tool. See, it's a what SQL Server Management Studio is opening. It will take some time, but just wait. Okay, the patience you need to wait. So now it is opening. Wait. It will open tab here if it is open. Okay, let's wait. Let me just close this because this is not required for me. So this is still opening. SQL Server Management Studio. Let it open. See, this is the SQL Server Management Studio. It is open. Now automatically it will detect the server name. But if it is not finding the server name, how you can find the server name is come out. Okay, computer name. Server name is nothing but a computer name. Just close this. What is your server name? Server name is exactly your server, your computer name. What is your computer name? Your computer name is SQL Server. So same name will be your server name as well. Come here, click on this tool, click on this. Now if you're not getting this, you just click connect, click database engine. So here you see it will come something like that. Here you need to paste your SQL server name. Daily we are copying some server name, right? That server name we need to keep it here. So there are multiple ways to authenticate. One is Windows authentication. Windows authentication means see Malaya and password it will take automatically, because this Malaya and password I have given already when I'm connecting to this virtual machine. So same username and password it will take. So just click connect. It will connect to your server. It will connect to your SQL server. It is connected to your SQL server. Okay. Now let's disconnect again. I want to connect to this SQL server in another way. Click database engine, SQL server. Now I want to connect in a SQL server authentication. So if you want this, we need to use Cloud Pandit admin. That is the username you need to use. Cloud Pandit admin. Sorry. So let me enter password here. Click connect. See, I connected. Now if you look at the databases, you will not have any databases because we have not created any databases. In a SQL server you can have a multiple databases. Right click on this, click new query. So I'm going to find a query to create the database. There are other ways to create the database. Right click on this, you can click new database. Without writing query, simply you can create the new database. Click new database. What is the new database name you want to do? Let's say Cloud Pandit SQL DB. So you can give, click add, click OK. File name was empty. Provide a file name for the file name. Enter the object name to select. Click on examples. Do something. Let me just give here. So it is going to create something like this. Okay. If it is not creating something like this, if you are not giving, it is confused, then you can simply write a some query. Create very simple query, that is create database Cloud Pandit DB. Here Cloud Pandit SQL DB, right? So I'm simply saying here Cloud Pandit DB. Just execute this query. It will create the database. Now right click on databases, click refresh. You will see two databases. Okay, you will have a multiple databases, something like that. Okay. Now the question is, in which database you want to maintain the tables. Let's say I want to maintain my tables in this database. Okay, Cloud Pandit DB. So now you have two databases. On which database? In which database you want to create the tables? Now you need to say use this database name. Okay, use Cloud Pandit DB. Just execute it. When I execute, see now there is the master. It will change master to the Cloud Pandit DB. So now what it means is, instead of firing a query, you can directly come here and you can select on which database you want to work. Okay, I want to create tables in this database, select that table, that's all. You don't need to write use and all. Okay, so directly you can come here and you can select a Cloud Pandit DB. This is the database. On this database I want to work. Now in this database Cloud Pandit DB, can you check, do you have any tables? These are system tables, file tables, but you don't have your own tables, right? Let's create a table. How to create table? Create table first, CID int cname varchar. Okay, next save phone number, big int. Okay, something like this. Now I want to insert the record. Insert enter first values, or you know, right, how to insert the values, you know already. Values are 1, name is Rama, phone number I will give my phone number. Okay, put comma. I want to insert new record, that is Krishna. Let me give my phone number again. Next 3 Sai. Let me give my phone number here also. Okay, now let's execute. Now what happened? 3 rows affected. Okay, let's comment all these things. Select, we'll have a comment here. Okay, just click on this, all lines will be commented. Now, so right click on these tables, click refresh to see the table effect reflecting or not. Yes, first table is reflecting. Now let's select the table, select the star from first. Okay, executed. 1 Rama, this phone number, 2 Krishna, this phone number, 3 Sai, phone number. Okay, we have the 3 records. These 3 records, this table I want to load it into my data lake storage Gen2. Okay, so now what happened is you have set up the on-premise SQL Server environment. Now what I need to do is I need to connect to the cloud from here. Okay, my on-premise should connect to the cloud. For that, what you need to do, the easiest way to get the self-hosted integration runtime tool URL is, the easiest way is go to Azure Data Factory, click on Manage tab, go to Integration Runtimes, click on New. So what integration runtime you need to create? See, you just follow your instructions. See, now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to connect to the cloud from on-premise. For that, first step is I'm creating the self-hosted integration runtime. How to create self-hosted integration runtime? Please follow the steps. Go to integration runtime, click on New. Here you have a Azure and self-hosted. Here for Azure SSIS, which one we need to create? Self-hosted. Select this option, click continue. Here you have Azure and self-hosted. Which one you want to use? Self-hosted. Select self-hosted, continue. So just give the yours integration name, Cloud Pandit self-hosted IR. Yeah. This is just a reference name. Okay, here's self-hosted. Some description if you want to give, you can give, then click create. So this is how you're going to create a self-hosted integration runtime, but it's not finished. Now we need to download this particular IR configuration details, then we need to install it. Okay, now how to do that is manual setup we need to do. This is the thing that we will do. Express setup, it will do everything automatically. We won't do this in real time. Okay, let's go with manual setup. Click on download and install integration runtime. Click on that. See, when you click on this, you will get the URL here. You can just search in Google directly, you will get this URL. The easiest way to get the URL to download the self-hosted IR is this is how you get the URL. Once I get the URL, take this URL, go inside virtual machine, open your Internet Explorer. Here I will paste the URL. I need everybody confirmation. Till here everybody's on same page. Everybody is able to understand till here. I need confirmation from everybody. I will call out friends, whoever is not confirming in chat window. Manohar is clear. Rest of the people, please respond. Bharat clear. Parmesh Ratnaraj. Barbro. Anybody is not clear, please let me know. I will just clarify those doubts. Okay. Till here clear, right? Fine. Now, so I just pasted this URL and enter here. I'll just click here. So I'm just browsing to this URL. Okay. Now when you browse to this URL, see, just come down here, you see something called Azure Data Factory Integration Runtime. Just click download. Here you see integration runtime. Which version is the latest? 4.15 is the latest. 4.14 is not the latest. Just select this. Okay. Now it should be a 700 MB. So if I'm trying to do in my local to download 700 MB, I need to wait again some 30 minutes. So just to avoid all these things, what I'm doing, I'm using virtual machine. In virtual machine, to download 700 MB, it will just take 30 seconds. Just click next. You see now it is going to download. Click yellow once. It will download now. See, and just click run. So I want to run once the download is finished. See how quickly it is downloading. See, it's finished. It's done almost. 700 MB completed. Understood? It's completed. 700 MB. This green, it indicates the download. Okay, download is completed. Okay, now once the download is completed, it will just come here because we just clicked on run. So when you clicked on run, what it will do is it will just start installing. Okay, just click here. So preparing to install. Click next. Accept the terms in the license agreement. Click next. Okay, if anybody is not clear, let me explain once again. Okay, if anybody is not clear, friends, if anybody is not clear, please let me know. I will do once again this particular step.
Yes, sir. I am not clear.
Okay, right. Thank you. Okay, I will do it. Okay, just cancel this. Then do one thing. Click finish. Now you see, come here. Okay, let's do one thing. Come back. Otherwise, I will just browse to the same URL once again. Just enter. Come down. Just click. First step is click on download. Once you click on download, it will show different versions. I need this version. Select this. Okay, after selecting, you just have to say next. So when you say next, automatically here you see something, some message it is coming. Internet Explorer blocked this particular website from this website. Okay, from this website you are downloading IR, but Internet Explorer is blocking this. Now you need yellow ones. Click yellow ones. So it is going to download now. Okay, see, it is ready to download. How much MB? 691 MB. Do you want to save this software somewhere, or you want to run directly? I want to run directly. Just click on run. So when you click run, see here the green mark will come. It will start downloading. Okay, but this time I see it is not coming. Why it is not coming this time? Because the reason is we already available. We downloaded that already. Okay, that's why. You just click on options. Not this options. That download is already completed. That's why it is not showing that. Okay, if you want to download anyhow, then click. See, when I click run, what happens? It is already downloaded. Now it is directly came to installation. But you want to download anyhow. Once again, you just cancel this. Cancel this. Click here to download manually. So again, you came here. Just click try again. So again, 691 MB it is saying. When you want to save or run? When you run it, already it is available. It found that already this software is available. It will run directly. You understood, Vinod, now? Just click run. So it is already downloaded. It will run it. Okay, just click view downloads to see the whether it is downloaded or not. Just click view downloads. It should show here. It is not showing. You can go here, click on view downloads. See, the download is completed already. Okay, that was shown, right? So download was completed. Now it is installing. So installation is very easy. Click next. Accept the terms and license agreement. We know how to install software. Right? We will have one option. I accept the terms and license agreement. Click. Click on this once again. Now click on I accept the terms in the license agreement. Click next. Click next. Click install. That's all. This is how you need to install. So once the installation is finished, so step 1 is we set up the on-premise SQL Server. Step 2 is I install the integration runtime. Is it clear, friends? This integration runtime I am installing in cloud servers or in my own machine. I am installing in my own machine, even though it's virtual machine that is purchased by me, so managed by me. So this will be available in my machine. Now from this machine I should be able to connect to the cloud services. Yeah, clear, friends? Murli sir, clear? This one now. Chaitanya, clear? Venkat sir, Manohar, Pawan, Shiva, Shushmita, Vinod. Everybody's clear, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this installation, once you finish, because from tomorrow I'll just install quickly. I will not I will not wait this much time, right? So I will quickly do it, because from tomorrow every day we need to install the self-hosted integration on that, because I cannot keep on running this virtual machine. We have seen that it's very costly, so that's why I don't want to keep on running this virtual machine. I will just delete it and I will recreate tomorrow. Okay. So when I recreate, I will just show you first 3 to 4 days. I will daily show you how you can install self-hosted integration on that, because this is also one of the very important thing that you need to explain to the interviewer. Okay, please practice, friends. These are very, very, very important things. Okay, so from next weekend onwards, we are going to prepare resumes for five people. Every Sunday, I will prepare 5 resumes for 5 people. Okay, so because almost we are ready for the interviews once we complete this week, and most of the things are covered with respect to the Azure Data Factory. Few more things are left. Those things you can able to understand only once you understand the transformation services. Okay.
Malaya, when will start data flows?
Data flows we will start after this. Immediately we are going to start data flows only.
Malaya, can you
Okay.
please cover Synapse as well?
Synapse we will cover at the end, Manohar, because Synapse we will cover. So how to copy data from on-premise to the Synapse, we will cover in this week itself. Okay. So there are 2 ways to load data into Azure Synapse. One is by using Polybase, another one is bulk load. So both the things we will see.
Nowadays, in interview, everybody asking about Polybase.
Yes, exactly. So I know that, so we will discuss that as well. In this week only, that particular concept also will cover. Loading data will cover, but more concept with respect to Azure Synapse we will cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, now installation is finished. You can finish this. So once you finish, you can see here, it will ask you to enter the key. See what it is saying, welcome to Microsoft Integration Runtime Configuration Manager. Before you start, register your integration runtime with register your integration runtime with self-hosted node using a valid authentication key. How to get that authentication key? The easiest way is do one thing. Let's go to your Azure Data Factory. Here you see there are 2 keys. You can take any key, doesn't matter what key you are using, both are same. Okay, you can use any key to register. Just copy one key, go into this virtual machine. I'm just entering my key here. Once you enter key here, just you need to do register. This is the 3rd step, friends. We set up the on-premise SQL Server. We install the self-hosted integration runtime. The 3rd step is we are registering with the Azure Data Factory. Now, when I registered with Azure Data Factory key, now, okay, before I click on register, I want to go back to my Azure Data Factory. Click close. This one you can close it. Now you see it's a unavailable. Refresh this one time. It will be unavailable only because you have not registered your self-hosted integration. Now I will go to self-hosted like virtual machine. Click register. Now it will take some minute or 1 minute or so. New integration runtime node, click finish. See, connecting, initializing integration runtime node components. Please wait, this may take a few seconds. It will take some 30 seconds to 1 minute. Integration runtime node has been registered successfully. Click launch configuration. So you can see self-hosted node is connected to the cloud services, meaning now we connected to the cloud from on-cloud. Okay, now do one thing. Come here, now you refresh, now you see self-hosted IR will be available. It is running now because this mission is running in your on-premise. This mission is running in your on-premise. Remember, that is first thing you need to do. Next, few more things we need to know. Second thing that we need to know is now we have seen we connected to the on-premise from cloud. Now let's create the linked service. Come to linked service. So how many linked service we need? Click new. First linked service I am going to create is for my SQL server. Just search here SQL server. You will get this. Okay. Select this SQL server. Click continue. Here I am trying to use auto resolve integration runtime. I'm trying to use auto resolve integration runtime to connect to my on-premise SQL server. Okay, this is, I will say ls on-premise SQL server. SQL server. ls for, you can see. Okay, linked service for on-premise SQL server. So what I wanted to do, server name, we need to put the server name. So server name and all, it's not a drop down tool select here. The reason is server is in on-premise, so you need to copy it. Okay, my server name is SQL server. I'll just put here SQL server. Database name, you remember I created a Cloud Pandit DB. You remember Cloud Pandit DB I created. Now we have two ways to authenticate. One is SQL authentication, second one is username and password. So let me just directly enter username. Your username is MALLAH. Password, let me just put it here. Okay, let's test the connection. Do you think I will be able to connect now? Can you check what type of fire I'm using here? Auto resolve integration runtime. Will my connection establish with auto resolve integration runtime or not? As per our discussion, at least tell me, friends, will I be able to establish the connection or not?
No.
No. So connection got failed, right? So what I need to do here, just select Cloud Pandit self-hosted IR. Now test the connection once again. Oh, what happened? Cloud Pandit DB SQL authentication username password is also fine. Cannot connect to SQL server database Cloud Pandit SQL server. MALLA. Okay, let me just check the database name, whether database name is same or not. Cloud Pandit DB. Go to SSMS, check it. Cloud Pandit DB. Server name is SQL server, database name is Cloud Pandit DB. So both are correct. We'll see why I am not able to connect. This is Malaya SQL authentication. Cloud Pandit DB SQL server. Okay, SQL server, Cloud Pandit self-hosted. Yeah, I think some password wrong. Let me just type it password once again. Click test connection once again. Cannot connect to SQL database or database Cloud Pandit. Oh shit, this is wrong, right? So you remember, friends, nobody's telling. See, Windows credentials is Malay and password, and here also if you use Windows, this one. But when you are using SQL authentication, username is Cloud Pandit admin. Username is Cloud Pandit admin when you are using SQL authentication. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, test connection successful. But same thing I will try with a auto resolve integration runtime. You see now what happens. It will fail. You understood now? I made a mistake. This is username I have not given properly. Okay. Now connection will fail because we are using auto resolve integration runtime. So it got failed. Okay. You understood? When I use auto resolve integration runtime, it is failing. But when I select self-hosted integration runtime, I'm able to establish the connection. Now I don't want to hardcode my password. I want to read it from Azure Key Vault. How to connect to the Azure Key Vault? Click new connection. On the fly, I will connect to the Azure Key Vault. LS for Azure Key Vault. This is the subscription. This is the Azure Key Vault name. Test connection. Then create it. Okay, connection is successful. Once I connect to the Azure Key Vault, I need to read the secret name. What is the secret name? What is the secret name? You can see the secret name is SQL password. Just put SQL password here. Test connection. Connection will be successful. Don't worry. Yes, connection is successful. Okay, I just create it. Now I connected to the document creation or update failed because of invalid this linked service. Okay, so fine. So what you need to do, you understood the what is the message. I was telling something from the beginning. Whenever you are using Azure Key Vault, you need to create Azure Key Vault linked service first, then you need to publish it. But when you are connecting to the cloud services, on the fly you can able to use this linked service. But when you are connecting to the on-premise, what you need to do, first you need to create the linked service, Azure Key Vault linked service. That Azure Key Vault linked service you need to publish it. See, Azure Key Vault linked service I created. Let's publish this first. Publish it. Once it is published, then you can use this linked service in the other linked services. Let's publish this. We'll see. Publishing is completed. Now you can create the linked service for your on-premise SQL Server. Continue. This is a LS4 on premise SQL Server. Now, so what type of IR we need to use? Cloud Pandit, self-hosted IR. Okay, so our Cloud Pandit self-hosted IR. Server name SQL Server. You know, right? So you can see a server name is SQL Server. Database name we know Cloud Pandit DB. Okay. Next, username Cloud Pandit admin, friends. Okay, Cloud Pandit admin. If you want to check all these details, first go to a virtual machine. You see the DB name is Cloud Pandit DB. In that we created the custodian. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is you can see a SQL Server username is Cloud Pandit admin. Okay, this is the Cloud Pandit admin. Now I want to enter password. You can enter password, but I don't want hardcode password. I need to read it from keyword. Use the linked service for your Key Vault and put the secret name. What is the secret name here? The secret name is SQL password. If it is copied, you just paste it. SQL password. Okay. Now you test the connection. Connection is successful. Okay, it will be successful. Don't worry. Successful. You can create it. Now I connected to the my on-premise SQL Server. So you know, once you connect to the on-premise SQL Server, remaining things are very easy because all these things are we are aware. So let's select data lake storage gen 2, continue. So this is the linked service for LS4 ADLS gen 2. Okay. Next, by using auto resolve integration runtime, I'm going to connect because this service is available within the cloud, not on-premise. This is the account key. So do you want to enter manually? Yes, I want to enter manually. Storage account key, I want to read it from keyword. This is the existing linked service linked service for Azure keyword. Secret name I need to put. What is my secret name? There is the secret ADLS key. Come back, put that particular ADLS key. Next, I need to form the URL. First to take your storage name, then you can able to form the URL. How to form the URL? HTTPS:// storage name.dfs.core.windows.net. Let's test the connection, because I don't want to hard code any key. That's why I'm reading all the keys and passwords from the key one. Okay, connection successfully created. Now when you have two connections, now come to your author tab. Let's simply click two data sets. We need to create new data set. This data set is basically for SQL Server. Select SQL Server, continue. This is a DS for your on-premise SQL Server. So let's select the linked service. We need to connect to the on-premise SQL Server. I connected by using this integration runtime. The table name, you can see the table name is, we have only cust table you created. That's why it is showing cust table. Select this cust table, click OK. My source data set is ready. I need to create the sync data set. Click new data set. Sync is data lake gen 2. Select data lake storage gen 2, continue. As CSV I want to load, continue. This is a DS or ADLS gen 2. Use this linker service which you have created. Now file system, I have not created any folder. I will create a folder called Cloud Pandey. In this Cloud Pandey, maybe if you want to give some file name, you can say file name is custod.csv. And first as header, I want to write custod table data into custod.csv with headers. And this folder file is not available. You cannot import schema. Click none, click OK. Now let's create a pipeline. Okay, this pipeline name I want to rename EL data from equals to ADLS gen 2. ADLS gen 2. Click OK. So this is my pipeline. Just to bring the copy data activity, to select data from on-premise to cloud. Okay, on-premise data set is this and cloud data set is this. The remaining things are same. You can find a query also on the on-premise database. You can use stored procedure which we have used. Everything is same. Only linked service is going to change. Okay, now you see everything is same. Let's create a trigger, add trigger, new / edit trigger. Okay, new trigger. This is basically schedule trigger I want to create. Okay, cloud trigger. So schedule trigger. What is the time in India? 8:21. Let's select India time zone. You know, India time zone is Chennai. You need to type. Now the time is 8:21. I want to trigger my pipeline at 8:23. 8:23 a.m. Click OK. So every 50 minutes I want to run? No. Every hour I want to run. Every hour I want to specify end date. So I'm not specifying end date, so nothing is going to happen. Okay. So if you want to specify end time, you can just specify end time. You can say current time is 8:23 and say if it 10:50 it should end. 8:23 it will run, 9:23 it will run, 10:23 it will run. 3 times it will run. Okay. But we won't wait that much time. Just activate this trigger. Click OK. Click OK. Then publish up. Click publish. You understood, friends? This one. Everybody understood this? I'm just trying to use all the things that we have discussed in our previous sessions. So at 8:23, our pipeline is going to run. Let's wait. So they're still publishing anyhow. Publishing is completed. Let's go to the storage and check here. You see, you don't have any folders. You have this. Ten more seconds. Come here. Come to monitor tab. Let's wait here. Finish. Now refresh this. You will see the pipeline. See, Cloud Pandit trigger has triggered this pipeline. This is a pipeline. Go inside this, you will see the activities. That activity is already succeeded because it will not take much time. Succeeded. Now come to storage, refresh this. Use the Cloud Pandit. Go inside this folder, you have custody.csv file. You can open it and see this file will have those 3 records. These 3 records. Okay. This is one thing. Next thing. So I want to ask you people, is it possible to load data vice versa, meaning from cloud to on-premise? Cloud to
Yes,
on-premise.
it is possible.
Okay, it is possible because the only thing that you need to make a change is click on let's create a new pipeline. Okay, we'll just see because if I need to explain this again, it will take 1 hour. Instead of that, let's finish this also in today itself. It's possible. PL underscore data from ADLS Gen2 to ADLS Gen2 to SQL server. I want to move the data. Okay, let's click finish. Now bring the copy data activity here. So source, what is source data set? Here source data set is going to be my data lake storage Gen2. Data lake storage Gen2, you click open this data set to see what file it is selected. Custody.csv file which we loaded just now. I'm selecting. I'm reading that particular file from my source side. Source is clear. I'm reading custody.csv file. My sync side, I will create a new data set. I don't want to use existing. Let's create a new data set that is to SQL Server. Select SQL Server, click continue. This is, you can say, DS4 on server. This is a sync. Use this connection, and I want to create a table dynamically. So I will say dbo.cust or dbo.temp. The table should be created automatically. dbo.temp. Okay. So how to create this table automatically? What configuration? So this table is not exist, so you cannot import schema. Click OK. Select none and click OK. Now, if you want to create a table is not available. I want to create automatically. Then you need to select this auto create table. Okay, now I want to let's publish and run it. Otherwise, let's create a one more trigger. New / edit trigger. Click new trigger. Okay, this is Cloud Pandit trigger 2. Schedule trigger. Now the time is 8:26. I want to run at 8:28. Let's run at 8:28. 8:28. 8:28. My pipeline should run every 15 minutes. No, every 1 hour. Every 1 hour, my pipeline should run. Specify end date. End date is, I'll just say maybe today itself at what time? Maybe you can say 12 o'clock, 12:55 a.m. Okay. Anyhow, I will delete immediately after this session. So 8:28 it is going to run. Then so if I leave this as is, it will run again 9:28, 10:28, again 11:28, 12:28. So these many times it will run. Okay. For now, just click OK. So it should run in a next 1 minute 8:28. Okay. We just click OK. Click OK. Then click publish. Now, oh, this is the wrong trigger, I think, because this is 8:28. Oh, this should be like just put some 10, 11. Okay. See, 8:28 and this should be 11:55. Okay. The reason I will tell you why it has failed previously. It failed because the end time is before the start time. It should not be, right? So I explained yesterday also. End time should not be less than the start time. Okay. I have given 12 a.m. 12 a.m. is already finished. So that's why it is throwing error. It is saying 12 a.m. is already finished. Now you are saying end time is before the start time. That's why it thrown error. But 8:28 now the time. We'll see whether our second pipeline triggered or not. See, our second pipeline is triggered. Okay, now what happens? Let's go inside this virtual machine. Let's refresh this tables list. We will see emp table. Emp table. Let's bring this table here. Select the star from this table. Now you just execute this. Execute this. You will see those 3 records again here. So you can do 2 ways, vice versa. Is it clear? Clear, friends? Refresh this. It will be succeeded. Okay, then. That's all for today, friends. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.